Welcome back, fellow villain kids. I'm Villy, and today we are going to talk about Descendants 3. Disney production has always had an array of cartoons, films, and movies that appeal to the child in each and every one of us. Disney films included a variety of characters, both good and evil. In this video, we're going to take a look at Mal's father theories, mentioned in the past but could possibly be revealed in Disney's Descendants 3, a movie that will premiere in 2019. So let's get started. But before that, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and put the notifications on. You won't miss any of my villainous videos. Number 10. Hades. So there is speculation that Hades, the god of the underworld, could be Mal's father. This theory was derived from possible clues or hints that were in Descendants 1 and Descendants 2, but mostly because of the blue flame that appears in the Descendants 3 trailer that Mal refers to as Dad. But before the trailer was released, there were other clues mentioned in the previous 2 movies, like the restaurant sign of Hades Souvlaki that was on a building when Mal was on the island. Another theory was that since Mal's mother, Maleficent, is evil, then her father must also be evil as well. And because all the gods and evil villains were banished to the Isle of Arden, then Mal's father must have been on the island with Maleficent and the other villains. Number 9. King Stefan. In the live-action movie Maleficent, Stefan was Maleficent's friend as a child, who actually ended up betraying her. At that point, she developed a disdain for Stefan, who later became king. Although Stefan does not have any supernatural powers, he does have power because of his position. He is also human, unlike the other characters who have been speculated to be Mal's father. Another point that is not mentioned in the movie is that in the book, The Isle of the Lost, Maleficent revealed that she had a period of temptation and weakness with a human. And that's why this theory that King Stefan could be Mal's father is very popular. Number 8. Merlin. When it comes to the magician Merlin, the idea that he could be Mal's father is somewhat far-fetched, but still a possibility. This theory was generated by the fact that Merlin was the one who taught and trained a young King Arthur. He was also the one who maintained the magic barrier on the isle to which all the villains were banished. The idea is that Maleficent could have possibly attempted to persuade Merlin in a romantic way in order to get off the isle. However, this is just a theory. It does not line up with the fact that in the book previously mentioned, when Maleficent actually revealed that she had that moment of weakness, she also called the person a weak and feeble human. So in that sense, Merlin wouldn't necessarily fit. But keep in mind that he is a magician. He could have turned himself into a human. Who knows? Number 7. Mordioux. The thought behind this is that Mordioux was actually a human prince that had a spell cast upon him for strength. He eventually turned into a bear, and then also became a villain. It is believed that he now lives on the isle with all the other villains. However, before this prince had this spell cast upon him, he was a human man that did embody some positive characteristics. Mordioux was a character from a previous Disney film, but ended up on the isle as a form of banishment for all evil beings. Number 6. Peter Pan. So Peter Pan is a character from an entirely different Disney saga. However, the thought that he could be Mal's father was generated by a Descendants fan who brought up the point that initially, Peter Pan was actually an evil character in the Disney film The Lost Boys. Peter Pan has also been the nemesis to the character Hook, who was previously banished to the same isle as Maleficent and the other villains. Hook is banished and is now living on the isle with the other villains, where he has a store called Hook's Inlet and Shack. Considering that Peter Pan has powers and is always fighting Hook, it's possible that he and Maleficent could have crossed paths. Number 5. The Horned King. The Horned King seems like a strong possible option for Mal's father. I mean, after all, he is her mother's ex-lover. Not only that, but at some point Maleficent and the Horned King actually worked together in hopes of taking over the world. The Horned King is not an actual god, but does have power. He is also a skeleton leader from beyond the grave who has his own army, and he operates a store called the Black Cauldron. He's portrayed as an evil character who has another daughter that he cares for but has difficulty raising. This dual dynamic shows his bad side but also a good, fatherly side as well. Number 4. Yen Sid. Yen Sid's character comes from the movie Fantasia. He was the wizard who taught Mickey Mouse how to deal with magic. However, he also traveled at some point to the Isle of the Lost in order to teach kids, so it's feasible that he could have crossed paths with Maleficent. Another important point is that Yen Sid can only perform magic when he has his hat on, which gave birth to the theory that he might have been a mere common human being when not wearing his hat. In addition, the predominant color of his magic is blue. This blue magic has been in several of the films, including the trailer for Descendants 3. There is also speculation as to whether or not Yen Sid is good or evil. That has yet to be determined, and he definitely is mysterious. Number 3. Chernabog. Chernabog is another evil ruler that Maleficent has had contact with in the past. Chernabog's character actually comes from Disney's House of Villains films, but there was also an intertwining of the two characters in the Descendants series. This get-together was also done during the time when Maleficent transformed into a dragon. Chernabog stated that he liked what Maleficent had done, placing his hand on her shoulder. This small gesture, a tiny detail that could be easily missed, has fueled the speculation that there may have been some type of relationship between Maleficent and himself. Number 2. King Arthur. King Arthur was trained and tutored by Merlin the magician. King Arthur is also known to be inherently good. This speculation that King Arthur could be Mal's father has some substance to it. After all, he is human, and his power comes not only by his position as king, but also by Merlin's training. Another reason that King Arthur is considered to possibly be Mal's father is that Mal does have some good in her, and during the movies we see her evolving to a person who tries to do what's right and good, kind of like the rest of us. Also, there's a curious clue in the Descendants 3 trailer. The blue flame appears above a stone. It is speculated that rock could be the stone that King Arthur pulled the sword from when he was just a boy. And number 1, Diablo. Diablo is another character who is speculated to be Mal's father. This speculation began when Maleficent actually turned Diablo from a bird into a man in the Maleficent movie. According to this theory, Maleficent turned Diablo into a man to satisfy a moment of loneliness. Even though far-fetched, it is still a possibility because, after all, Maleficent is able to transform anything she wants into something else of her choice. The argument also includes the possibility that Maleficent turned Diablo into someone who resembles her daughter's father, so that he could be used to lure Mal back to a place where she could evolve into someone totally, 100% evil. This top 10 is just a brief synopsis of the most popular theories of who Mal's father could be. With so many villains and evil beings banished to the same isle, protected by a magical barrier, all of these characters, at some point, crossed paths with Maleficent. All of these theories have their own positive and negative points, but it is to be believed that in Descendants 3, all the theories and guesswork will be put to rest, because this film will reveal the actual identity of Mal's father. This is Villy. Thank you for watching Villain Kids, and please don't forget to subscribe, put a like, and check my other awesome villainous videos.